has entered the league's health and safety protocols. He did not play in the Lakers' 117-92 win over the Kings on Tuesday night. It is expected that James will miss several games. That, according to Woj. Now, keep in mind, LeBron had already missed 11 games this season with an ab injury, the team going 4-7 during that stretch. The Lakers are currently 8th in the West at 12-11. Kendrick, is it panic time for LeBron and the Lakers?
No, it's not. It's not, Molly. I feel like that win that they had last night, being down double figures to the Kings, and I know it's the Kings, but they were still down. And Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis, they did what they did, but up. But I will say this. I was arguing with Stephen A. and Swagoo earlier, debating with him about Frank Vogel. The one thing I have been disappointed in Frank Vogel about is that he hasn't used Dwight Howard enough. And if Anthony Davis is not committed to playing the 5, don't start DeAndre Jordan. Please, just stop doing that. Start Dwight Howard and move AD back to the 4 and figure things out. Because Dwight Howard was a huge reason why they won that game last night. Coming in, getting 12 points, 13 rebounds in 35 minutes, anchoring that defense with 3 or 4 blocks. So my thing is to Frank Vogel is stop with the DeAndre Jordan. More Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard and Anthony Davis know how to play together. They won a championship together. They anchor the defense together. That's what the Lakers lack in. So stop trying to force. I was with it at first, Stephen A. Look at me when I'm talking to you. I was with it at first when I said that AD needed to play the 5. But now I'm starting to realize he's not embracing it on a consistent basis. So don't force it.
Well, you made a mistake asking me to look at you, because in looking at you, I recall telling you AD at the 5 wasn't the answer. And I said because I didn't think he would embrace it for exactly that reason. I ain't question his ability, because AD to me can do whatever he wants on the front line because he's that gifted. But what he wants to do was not that. And let me say this, because it's important for me to acknowledge this. I had a vote, and I did not have Dwight Howard in my top 75. I have him in my top 100, but not my top 75. Only because of the things that have happened over the last few years. I think that if that trend had continued from his days in Orlando and to a lesser degree in Houston, I would have felt differently. But I still know how formidable he was as a former Defensive Player of the Year, shot block extraordinaire. But I got to tell you something right now. I want to stand on this, and I'll tell you this honestly, KP. I have to think more about Dwight Howard. He is completely underappreciated. He is completely underappreciated.
I'm telling you.
This brother defends. He blocks shots. He changes shots.
Preach.
He's an enforcer. And I think people look at Dwight Howard and they see this smile on his face, or they might question some of the things that happened in the past, right? And they use it as an excuse to malign him. I actually think he's one of the good guys in the game, but more importantly, not offensively, because I never felt that his offensive repertoire was big time. But I think that he could do enough offensively, and defensively, the brother to me was elite, and at this point is still incredibly formidable. And I can't believe that a guy with the defensive mind that Frank Vogel has doesn't see that Dwight Howard is a significant plus who should be in the lineup starting and playing significantly more minutes than they are giving him.
Molly, Stephen A., I'm going to say this. When we talk about that top 75 list, one could argue if you was to match Dwight Howard's career alongside Anthony Davis, one could argue that Dwight Howard should have been in there before AD. And I'm just being brutally honest.
You know what I have to say, Molly?
Yep.
KP just gave profound food for thought, because Dwight Howard was that elite defensively. Never had Anthony Davis's offensive skills, but was elite defensively. And on top of it all, they won the title together. They both, Dwight was coming off the bench for that championship Lakers team 2 years ago.
No, for sure.
Molly, I know it's the
eye
last
contact.
segment.
I'm with you. I'm with you on
I
that.
know it's the last segment, but Them Phoenix Suns, boy. Oh, them dogs.
My goodness.
Them dogs.
We'll
Want
see
me
you
to get them?
on NBA Today later. Say
They're a good team. They played well. But I know Julius driving that ball pretty darn hard. And I'm pissed.
Stephen A., were your Knicks robbed last night?
They were not robbed. There isn't a game that you can't find where referees have not made bad calls. Kendrick Perkins, if we had a segment after referees made bad calls, we would have an NBA segment every day on officiating. They're not perfect. Human errors are part of the game. Part of being a great player is not just handling, dribbling, shooting the basketball, passing, defending. Part of being a great player is being able to adjust, knowing who the officiating crew are going to be, how they call a game, and adapting to those circumstances when you're going out there to perform, particularly when you're going up against greatness like a Kevin Durant or James Harden. Mm-hmm. Julius Randle, and I started off the show pretty pissed off. And I still am, but I'm going to try to be as calm as I possibly can. I can't wait to go to that game. I'm going to go to that game Thursday night against the Chicago Bulls. I want to see them in person again. We value Julius Randle as a lifelong Knicks fan. I respect him. He did a great, great job last year until the playoffs. Mm-hmm. He's doing a damn good job this year. He's only averaging 19 points, 19 and 10. Shoot 41% from the field, 32% from three-point range. He gets to the free throw line 5 times. Tom Thibodeau, I don't know what's going on because he needs to get in the line more. Well, Julius Randle is backing people down and shooting fall-away jump shots. Now, if you remember KP, correct me if I'm wrong, and put KP up on the split screen, please, so I can see him when I'm talking to him. You remember KP, we'd watch Julius Randle in L.A. We'd watch him in New Orleans before he came to the New York Knicks. Yes, they were screaming, he's going left, he's going left, he's going left. But he was a powerful brother coming out of Kentucky. He was a man amongst boys, and he would manhandle you. Well, the good news is that he developed a three-point shot. The good news is that he's improved his perimeter shot. The bad news is that he leans on it a little bit too much. And so I'm looking at it last night, and I'm like, there was a point. The New York Knicks down 18. They looked like they're about to get blown out of the building, blah, blah, blah. Here they come roaring back, making me proud. And Julius Randle was helping along that way. And then Kevin Durant said, you know who I am? You know who I am? Give me the damn ball and let me remind you who the hell I am. Crossed them over, yow, and started hitting jumpers all over the place, just doing what he does with his beautiful Mama Durant in attendance. Love you dearly, you know that. All I'm saying to you is that happens. And you get a technical foul in the midst of that run, that's on you, Julius. I'm not saying the referee was right. I'm not saying Tom Thibodeau is wrong, because he's not wrong. I'm saying when you're the Knicks, know who you are and know who you are not. And know what it takes to overcome the obstacles that are inevitably going to come your way because you're trying to ascend and they saying, no, you ain't there yet. You got to take it. You can't be crying about no excuses about the referee after a damn game. That's my point. Floor is yours, KP.
And look, Stephen, you know how much I love Tom Thibodeau. We won the championship together. That's my guy.
Yeah.
You know how much I love Julius Randle.
Yeah,
Former Texas native. That's my guy. I love what he do. I love him being, like everything about it. But they cannot do this. And you know who robbed them yesterday?
Damn.
James Harden, Kevin Durant, Mitchell Robinson, Tom Thibodeau, and Julius Randle. So this is why I say this, okay? Julius Randle, I love how he tried to take that matchup personal with Kevin Durant, but it ain't happening. And I thought in the fourth quarter, early in the fourth quarter, when KD had it going, I blame Tibbs for not going trap KD early and getting the ball out of his hands to make somebody else beat him. That's one thing. The other thing, Doc Rivers and Tibbs used to both tell me this when I was with the Celtics. He used to tell our team, don't leave the game in the officials' hands. Don't leave it in the hands for them to determine the outcome of the game. And who they really should be mad at is Mitchell Robinson. And I'm not just, I don't want to just blame him because of that one play at the end, but I got to point it out. It was a foul. You are 7-1. You do have a 40-inch vertical. You should have went, it's verticality. Why are you swiping down? It was a foul. And my thing is to this, Julius Randle, his next step to his game, and I will say this, he has gotten better at it, but when he's driving to the paint, it's two people that's collapsing on him, 2 or 3 people. He has to be able and willing every single time to trust his teammates and drive and kick. That's the next level that he has to get to. Yep. I thought he wanted to go
use
back
his right
and
hand,
forth.
KP.
Yeah, he got to use his right hand. But I thought he took it too personal and wanted to match bucket for bucket with one of the greatest scorers to ever play the game of basketball. Yeah. It's not happening. Yeah.
All right, let's leave it there and go coast to coast here. Let's go out to L.A. LeBron James.
Because
he's about to own you with some of these NBA topics. Like
Don't worry, Swagoo, I got you. I got you in the whole Cowboy.
What happened to your Knicks? Stephen A., what happened to the Warriors? What happened to your Knicks?
Same thing that's been happening to UConn for about a year, but go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Y'all gonna get
already?
Hold up.
She did not deserve that.
Is it basketball season?
Yes, she did.
Oh, yeah, it's basketball season.
I suggest you watch
them out. And that's what we do.
I suggest you watch them out.
Let's go. You're distracting me from the conversation.
You better watch it.
The Suns now 18-3 after beating Golden State 104-96 in a potential Western Conference Finals matchup, but the victory did not come without a cost. Devin Booker injured his left hamstring in the second quarter and was ruled out. The other major story, Steph Curry had a rough night, finishing the game 12 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, while shooting 4 of 21 from the field. This was Steph's worst shooting night of his career when taking at least 20 shots. Let's hear from him.
I mean, we'd rather win, but they're the Western Conference and the reigning champs for a reason. They're good. But like I said, all the mistakes that we did have, how terrible I shot the ball. It's a close game down the stretch, and nobody got hurt. But I think, yes, it's a good learning lesson for us. Understanding the intensity, the focus that we need to do a team like that, especially on the road.
The Suns have reeled off 17 straight wins, matching the longest win streak in team history. That 17-game win streak is tied for the second longest by any team that lost in the NBA Finals in the previous season. Stephen A. Smith, since this is your show, I guess I'll let you start.
Not my show. It's not my show. It's everybody's show.
Okay.
I'm a man of the people.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead.
Kind of Stephen A. versus everybody. Should the Warriors fear the Suns, Stephen A.?
Well, hell no. Not fear. We have to respect. We have to take into account that the Phoenix Suns right now are the best team in basketball at this particular moment. I predict that changes Friday. Steph Curry will exact his revenge on Friday in San Francisco. But right now, based off of last night's game and the fact that the winning streak has now hit 17, we have to take into account that the Phoenix Suns are no joke. Okay? There's a couple of things to peel from this, ladies and gentlemen. Number one, the greatness of CP3. Number two, the greatness of Monty Williams as a coach. Okay? We can't ignore that. I got to even give Mikal Bridges some love. I ain't going to lie to you.
Yeah.
This brother right here had 2 points. This is the most valuable 2-point performance I've seen in quite some time. I mean, damn. Listen, this dude can defend.
Yeah.
He can defend, and he does all the things nobody else wants to do. I got to give him some love. Booker goes down in the second quarter, and he looked like he was about to have a monster game. And they just amped it up, and they stepped up. I got to give them love. However, are we really going to sit here and act like Steph Curry's shooting performance was normal? It was an aberration.
Yeah.
It was an aberration. I mean, that's not something that you're going to see him do quite often.
It's his worst shooting night, I said, ever.
That's right. With 20 Andrew Wiggins wasn't 100%. Okay, we got to take that into account. I appreciate how Jordan Poole played for the first quarter. I don't know what happened to him the last 3, but I do appreciate what I got from him the first quarter. In the end, I will say this. This is the biggest thing that I got to peel away from it. I've been talking about the Warriors for weeks now. They're going to win the chip. I don't see anybody beating them if Klay Thompson and Wiseman come back, because they were just undersized. They were too small for Phoenix. Reminded me of Phoenix against Milwaukee, to be quite honest with you. Too undersized. I get all of that. But let me tell y'all what I peel from this, too. I've been sitting here talking about nobody's going to beat the Lakers but LeBron. I'm sorry, but the Warriors, when they run into the Warriors would knock them out.
Yeah.
Man, I'm looking at Phoenix Suns. I'm like, damn. I'm looking at them and I'm like, damn. Lakers might be able to go home in the first round if Phoenix and Golden State continue to look like this.
Paging Jay Williams.
A big question for you.
Oh, there you go with one of your questions.
J.J. Redick yesterday started to prep the meal. I want to cook the meal. I want to finish it. I want to take it out of the oven.
I know JJ's jealous right now. JJ wish he was sitting in that seat today. He wish he was sitting in that seat today to get me. I understand.
Are you ready to renege on your comment that you think the Phoenix Suns championship window is closed?
No.
Is over?
No, I was only talking, by the way, me and Keyshawn both, just in all seriousness.
Okay.
We were only talking about this season. I wasn't talking about moving forward. They're done. They had their one shot.
So even after last night, you're still not giving Phoenix a chance to win a world championship.
Well, okay, you want to say a chance? I'm saying to you, I believe the Warriors coming out of the West and they winning it all.
That's fine. That's
what I believe. I don't wait for it.
Time out. Come back. I know you believe the Warriors come out the West, but my question to you is: are you giving the Phoenix Suns a chance? Because when you say
beat the Warriors,
when you say it's closed this year, that means zero chance. So I want to hear you renege on that and say yes, they have a legitimate chance. Just you can still pick the Warriors. I just want to hear you say chance.
No, I'm not you, Jay. I'm not you. And what I mean by that is this: Phoenix Suns ain't beating the Warriors in a 7-game series, and I stand by that. How do you know that? That's what I'm saying.
Because last night you said it was an aberration.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I stand by it until I'm wrong. I'm right until I'm wrong, baby.
I understand
I'm right.
that.
Take note.
Well, you were wrong last night. You were wrong last night.
That's right, and I got no choice. I got no choice.
All I'm going to say is Steph is one of the most gifted players we've ever seen. I do think last night was to a degree an aberration.
To a degree.
But it was an aberration because of the way he was defended. So Mikal Bridges, 6'7", 7'1" wingspan, probably the best built defender to guard Steph.
We haven't seen anybody like that guard Steph before ever. I'm saying
not with the motor and not with the way they defended him.
We've seen people guard Steph before. Last night was an aberration.
Who guarded him like Mikal Bridges last night?
Well, Mikal Bridges, okay.
Give me other examples of players in the league that have been perfectly built to guard.
First of all, what I'm saying to you is this. Mikal Bridges is not a rookie. He's been on the Phoenix Suns for a while.
Yes.
He's defended against Steph before. There have been numerous others that have defended against Steph before as well. All I'm trying to say is that I'm not trying to take anything away from Mikal Bridges. I'm saying even Mikal Bridges. Last night he defended him in a way that he himself has made.
All right, let's get Marcus in here. Marcus, what do you have to say to them?
First, I agree that it was an aberration. I think Stephen A. was out of his damn mind to say that the Phoenix Suns window was closed this year. I saw that yesterday. I couldn't be but to me, it was the length of DeAndre Ayton and his ability to stretch the floor and stay in front of Steph. The thing that I give you credit for, Stephen A., is that obviously Klay will make a difference. And Wiseman coming back will at least give them length around the basket. Last night, you saw Steph Curry get isolated, and you saw the Warriors fold. That's why you have Klay Thompson. That's why you have a big fella under the boards. Early on in that game, I tweeted out like 2 minutes into the game. I was like, this is a damn good basketball game because Styles, when you looked at the Phoenix Suns, and I saw Chuck last night talking about it, is that he was concerned about DeAndre Ayton under the basket on the boards, and that showed up early and often. Not to mention, when you start looking at the NBA now, and you think about Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, and we've had this conversation before, if they're off, which is very rare, which is why I agree that it was an aberration from Steph Curry, but when they're off, this Warriors team is very, very suspect when it comes to matching up. And one thing I was thinking last night as well, and I want to hear both of y'all on this, I said, damn, this looked like the San Antonio Spurs. The Phoenix Suns look like the San Antonio Spurs. That's who they look like. Defensively,
guys, that's blasphemous.
Mikal Bridges, Bruce Bowen.
DeAndre Ayton, I'm not saying they are these players skill set wise.
Right.
DeAndre Ayton dominated the boards and under the basket like Duncan and the other big fellas used to do. When you look at CP3, a floor general like Tony Parker, listen, I could go on, but I'm going to lead this to the basketball aficionados. But to me last night, from operation standpoint, defensively, it reminded me a lot of how the San Antonio Spurs used to win championships. That I'm gonna leave it at that.
Guys, all I'm going to say is when they were switching, if you want to get into the basketball trenches and you're switching with length, you're forcing Steph to take long distance shots over guys who are agile. DeAndre Ayton, JaVale McGee, agile, deep shots. You're forcing him to be a 2-point scorer, which minimizes his ability to obviously create momentum, right? Steph is the best momentum player in the league. So my thing is, I don't know exactly how Clay is going to come back. Clay hasn't really played basketball for 2 years. So for you to sit here and say definitively that the Warriors are just going to win it, I'm sitting there saying, I've also heard you say CP3 is a top 10 point guard of all time. I've heard you.
I actually said top 5.
Top 5, okay. I've also heard you say Devin Booker is probably the closest thing we've seen to Kobe Bryant.
I said he's coming. Yes.
I'm hearing all these talks with Mikal Bridges and this team. They are built to win a championship.
They are a built team. They are big time. But I just think that the movement of the basketball, the defensive prowess of the Golden State Warriors. Remember, I didn't make this prognostication without the services of Klay Thompson and James Wiseman. I said once they come back, if they're at 80%, I believe it's a wrap, and I stand by that.
Right.
And when you consider their movement of the basketball, other guys didn't step up last night as well. It wasn't just...
We'll revisit this later. Phoenix is at Golden State on Friday. We get to see the rematch, guys. The Knicks, Julius Randle and Coach Tom Thibodeau walked off the Barclays Center floor on Tuesday night, livid at the officiating during their 112-110 loss to the Nets. Randle had 24 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists, but went to the line only twice the entire game. The Knicks star forward initially did not want to talk about the officiating until he was asked whether he was surprised he isn't getting the benefit of calls usually reserved for a team star. Take a listen.
I don't know what they're watching or what they're seeing, but you got to ask them. But like you said, as aggressive as I played, attacking the paint, I can't be penalized for just being stronger than people. And that's the answer that I got today.
I want to watch the film, but something's not right. Like, I don't, I'm watching what's going on both ways, and, hey, look, they're a good team. They played well, but I know Julius is driving that ball pretty darn hard, and I'm pissed.
Wardrobe change. Let's get it. Stephen A., can I get eye contact? Can you please look up? There we go.
Hi, Stephen.
Hi, Stephen. Were the Knicks robbed last night?
They weren't robbed. Jay, just move out my way, man.
I'm not in your way.
Let me tell y'all something right now.
Just on my single box. Yeah.
I don't want to hear that from Julius Randle. With all due respect, shut the hell up. I don't want to hear that. I watched this game last night. Let me be very, very clear about what I'm about to say. I was actually proud of the Knicks. You down 18, you come back, you take the lead, you walk into the Barclays Center, you take over. There wasn't no damn Nets fans up there. Brooklyn stand up, my you know what. It was Knicks in the house. It was New York stand up. They showed the city what this is all about. Who really represents New York? Who really represents the Mecca? It ain't Brooklyn. It ain't Brooklyn. You come down with a game on the wire, and because you are the call, you get a technical foul. After Kevin Durant boogied on you and pulled up in your face for Jay, it's Kevin Durant. Yo, Jay, remember this? You know who I am. You know who I am. He's Kevin Durant. Guess what, Julius Randle? You're not. You're not going to get those calls. Damn it, you didn't know that? You didn't know that? I don't understand. This is the kind of stuff that drives me nuts. Julius Randle. I'm proud to have him as a New York Knick. I'm going to be at the game tomorrow night. Or Thursday night, I'm sorry, when they play Chicago. I'm going to roll up at the Garden. I'm going to go to that game. Because I need them to see my face. Let me understand. Let me make sure I'm very clear about this. Julius Randle got my vote. I got a vote. Most improved player. Very proud of the year that he had. Deserving of his money, $117 million. I thought he deserved a little more personally, but it was the max deal. It's all good. I ain't got no problems with him, but one thing and one thing only. What the hell have I been saying, Jay? I mean, all you do is play basketball. That's That's your only job. You can't get a damn left hand. You can't get a damn right hand. You can't know how to use your right hand. You can't be a little bit ambidextrous. Swagoo, you don't understand what I'm going through right now. I'm watching a guy that anytime him and R.J. Barrett are on the floor, people are screaming at them. They're going left. They're going left. Everybody knows you can go around this desk, up the block, down the seaport, all over the city, and all you got to do is come back to their left, do what they're going to do. And then we're going to talk about you ain't getting calls. You know why? Because you're not that dude yet, Julius Randle. You're very good. We're very proud to have you. You've made the New York Knicks relevant. I love the fact that you're a part of this franchise. I'm a Knicks fan. I'm rooting for you. And the heart that y'all showed in coming back is a big-time deal. And I ain't got no problems with Tom Thibodeau complaining because Tom Thibodeau's the coach. That's what he does. But at the end of the day, it's you. You ain't KD. You ain't going to get those calls. Work it out. Work it out. Right. You can't be about complaining about some damn call.
Do you feel better? You got that off your chest? You feel good? You want to let someone else speak, or you want to keep going?
Go ahead. Just go ahead.
Can we just run back the tape, please, of a moment that Stephen A. and I had about a month and a half ago?
Ain't do nothing to you, man.
Nothing. Can we just run back the tape? Can you guys run back the tape,
we'll get the
please?
tape. We'll get the tape.
Yeah.
I'll bet you one of your fitted, nice suits that you have on right now, I will bring in cash on First Take.
I don't need cash. Your credit card works.
Credit works fine
Your credit
too.
works.
I can wire it, whatever you want to do.
Your credit card works.
Okay? I will buy you and I will get you fitted for another beautiful suit. And you can do the same for me because I don't see them going to the Eastern Conference semifinals. Do you have a deal? Are we going to shake on this? We're going to mark this down. I hope that's
You're going to pay for that. You're going to pay for that. You're going to pay for that, okay? I'm telling you that right now. You keep sleeping on my Knicks all you want to. You keep sleeping. New York,
I'm not
stand up.
sleeping on them.
Listen.
I'm not sleeping on them. They came a long way, SA.
You done guaranteed they coming out of the first round because these Knicks ain't going to let me down. They're not going to let me down.
His name is Martel Francois. I can tell you his phone number for when the season gets underway. I just want you to understand something.
The relevancy of that.
Yes, you guys lost.
It's a regular season game. We'll be back.
There are 5 teams tied for 7th place right now. I just want to remind you, Stephen A. Smith, that after you guys won your first game, when you guys did NBA Countdown and you came back and you were talking about the Knicks being this team, where did I tell you where they truly were as a team? Now, you just may mention that Julius Randle isn't going to get those calls because he's not Kevin Durant. He's not Stephen Curry. He's not Damian Lillard. I love watching Julius Randle play. But the fact of the matter is, this team gets tired. Third quarter, they drop off the face of the court. It is not a good they are a challenging basketball team who has talent, who can obviously be a mid-pack of the Eastern Conference. But to sit up there and say on live national TV that this team has a chance to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, even if you want to tell me the Eastern Conference semifinals, look, they are not that great of a team, Stephen A. And I am starting to believe every single Monday morning, with the way you start treating Michael Irvin as a Dallas Cowboys fan, I'm going to start treating you as a New York Knicks fan. Because there are a lot of similarities between the way you treat Cowboys fans and how I just saw you react, my man. It seems like you are in a perpetual state of purgatory, of frustration, of anger. Kemba Walker, 2 years, $20 million contract. All of a sudden, he's no longer part of the rotation. Like, there are a lot of questions around Tibbs and the way these teams have midseason burnouts. There are a lot of questions that you're going to need to continue to answer for me, my man. I got you, Swagoo. I got you a little bit because he's always trying to put Cowboys fans in the box. It's kind of the same with Knicks fans, if you understand what I mean.
Before Swagoo goes on, Jay, you know, we got a long relationship. We boys.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you on national television, I'm going to eat you alive. You keep saying stuff like that. You keep comparing me to Cowboys fan. I'm going to get you to a point.
You just went on a 7-minute soliloquy on national TV crying about your team.
Excuse me. I have never walked around acting like the New York Knicks are going to win a title. I have never walked around bloviating after an awful season how we going to win it.
We here. We here. We back. We here.
New York,
because
stand
guess
up.
what?
New York, stand up. We the team in New York.
Because New York has been laying down and hadn't shown up for decades. So when we finally stood up and we were here, I said so because we were here.
Where does
relevant?
You mean like the last quarter century?
What'd you say, Marcus? I couldn't hear you.
You mean like the last quarter century?
Yeah,
The Knicks?
No. It's been worse than that. I mean, the New York Knicks ain't won a damn
okay.
NBA
So you saying you worse than the Cowboys?
No. I'm saying the New
It's
York Knicks as a
always-
franchise. You're not listening. The New York Knicks have not won a championship since 1973. I was 5 years old. And what I am saying to you is that it's been so god awful. I have never been under this illusion that the New York Knicks are going to win a title. Cowboy fans go 1-15, 15 minutes
When's
after
the last
the
time
season
the Cowboys
ended. They
won
talk
a
about they're
title?
going to win the Super Bowl next year. We don't compare.
When's the last time the
We gonna
Cowboys won a
compare.
title?
25, quarter century ago. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, Jay, I'm glad you said that, and I didn't have to because
No,
I did it for you, Sparky.
Jay
when
gonna
I-
get eaten up now.
when
Jay
I was
done started
listening-
saying he don't even know what he brought
when
on
I was
himself.
listening to that rant, it was real reminiscent of how he tried to put that energy towards me and Michael Irvin when we talk. And I don't even get that damn animated about the Cowboys.
That's
if you
a
really
lie.
run the tape, no,
That's
I
a
don't.
lie.
No, I don't. I'm very
cussing on their
conscious.
because of the Cowboys.
I'm very conscious of talking about the truth when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. See, what happened to you just now is you got emotional and you forgot.
I'm not denying that.
You got it. Okay. So why you get mad at the Cowboys for doing it?
I'm not getting mad at the Cowboys
Why you
for doing
I'm
it.
talking about the fans.
Fans are delusional and they lie.
But you
all
just
the
said-
time.
you just said they gonna go
Knicks
to the
don't call
Eastern-
themselves America's team.
You just
Y'all
said the
do.
Knicks gonna go to the
Knicks don't
Eastern
sit up there
Conference
and steal
semifinals.
headlines and act like that equates to wins. Y'all do.
You just said
Y'all do that.
You just said the Knicks was going to the Eastern Conference semifinals.
That's
What
the
make?
sec-
Why
Time
would
out.
you
That's the
believe
sec-
that and they
Time
ain't
out.
been there?
Time out. That's the second round. I'm asking them to win one round of a playoff series. That's it. Why y'all acting like I'm talking about a championship? I didn't do that.
So Stephen A., if that emotion that you just drew out was because the Knicks not gonna make it to the second round of the playoffs?
No. The emotion that I just threw out there is because to get to a point where you winning, you don't complain about the refs when you had an opportunity to dictate the outcome.
In what
Julius
world?
Randle getting a technical foul at that pivotal moment after you overcome an 18-point deficit and you going against KD and you whining to the refs instead
Jay.
of playing ball.
Jay.
That's my problem.
Jay.
That's my energy.
Jay.
Swap,
That's
dude.
my
what I'm
problem.
talking about.
Jay, what can go wrong will go wrong.
Will go wrong.
Oh, thank
It's
you.
amazing.
Get some
It is
swag.
amazing how we
That's
attribute
segue.
things to
Let's
other
just
people
drop-
and we
let's
don't
just
want to
drop
own
it
them
on that
ourselves.
note.
It's
You know what?
amazing.
I don't want to
No,
talk
let's
to none of
end
y'all.
it there.
I
Let's
don't want
end
to
it
talk to none of
You
y'all.
know what,
I don't
Stephen
want to talk to none of
Stephen
y'all.
A.,
Yeah,
I
this is
actually feel
ridiculous. Okay?
sorry for you right now.
That's
You know, I always
all
feel
right.
somebody's
Yo,
rest.
it's all right.
I feel like I
It's
need to
okay.
come to your rest. That was sad.
It's okay.
Jay,
difference
thank
is
you
I'll
so
take
much
mine,
for being
Molly.
with us.
I'll
That
take
was
mine.
very
I'll take
entertaining.
$70,000 suit gonna be nice.
Thank you for that segue because I want to get to Marcus's
Yeah,
former
that
team
money.
right now. Is there trouble? LeBron James. He has entered the league's health and safety protocols. He did not play in the Lakers' 117-92 win over the Kings on Tuesday night. It is expected that he will miss several games, sources telling our Adrian Wojnarowski. Now, keep in mind, LeBron had already missed 11 games this season with an ab injury, the team going 4-7 during that stretch. The Lakers currently 8th in the West at 12-11. Here's Frank Vogel on the Kings.
It's a huge loss. It's disappointing. We just want the best for him right now. That's where our thoughts are. And, we have a next man up mindset. It's an 82-game season. You're going to deal with guys being in and out of the lineup. We've been out without him already this season. I feel like we're further along with our cohesiveness now than we were the first time he went out with his ab strain. And you got to come in and compete and get a W tonight.
Oh boy. NBA champion Kendrick Perkins joining us. Big Perk, always good to see you, sir. I will get to you in just a second, but I'm going to start with you here, Stephen A. Is it time for panic time for the LeBron and the Lakers?
I'm almost there. And I would tell you it would basically be by default because of what I've seen from the Warriors, and we know where I stand from the Warriors, because of what we're witnessing from the Phoenix Suns. You got to get it together because it's almost at the point where you're imagining Russell Westbrook, Anthony Davis, and LeBron being what they're supposed to be and still thinking they could lose because of how good everybody else looks in terms of their willingness and ability to play together. I watched Frank Vogel last night, post-game, give himself a pat on the back because of how the Lakers, stagnant throughout the first half, came out and ran the Sacramento Kings out of the building, their own building, in the second half. And he talked about how you got to light a fire under people sometimes and all of this other stuff. Frank Vogel, you're the 27th ranked defense in the National Basketball Association. Frank Vogel is a person that has spent time as a head coach in the NBA having the #1 ranked defense. Frank Vogel wouldn't be a coach, a head coach, that is, if it were not for his prowess as a defensive mind in the National Basketball Association. And your defense, half the time, looks like trash. Can't defend the pick and roll, can't defend pick and pops, can't do anything like that. Okay? And so when I look at it from that perspective and the fact that you're tapping yourself on the back, I'm wondering about you right now. Now, as it pertains to LeBron and health and safety protocols, the only thing I'm going to say about this, and KP, I'm going to leave it up to you, doing the NBA today, being out there in LA. Yes, I'm jealous, damn it. I wish I was there, damn it. Let me be very clear about that. Instead of cold New York. But
Okay.
Nevertheless, that's a different subject for another day. I don't want to give myself more reason to have an attitude. Let me say this. When it was announced that LeBron would be out with safety and protocols, and Swagoo and KP, especially you, KP, I'm going to come to you with this first. I'm going to end it by saying this. I'm not accusing anybody of anything. We wish LeBron nothing but the best. We hope that he's healthy the whole bit. He's a big-time fixture in this league and the whole nine. There were people writing, well, is he really vaccinated? Now, he says he is, and we got to take him at his word. But people are using him as an excuse to question the legitimacy of some professional athletes as to whether or not they are vaccinated. And if this stuff keeps popping up, you're going to hear more of those questions. And God help anybody if we find out folks are not telling the truth about being vaccinated. And I'm going to leave it at that. Floor's yours.
Well, I'm going to say this. Is it time to panic? I would say no. And here's why. Russell Westbrook has elevated his game over the last 6 games. He has been playing phenomenal basketball. His turnovers are down. He's starting to look like the Russ that we have been waiting on, right? But when I look at the Lakers, it's one individual that's standing out to me. And we all know that the Lakers' ultimate goal is to win a championship. But when I look at Anthony Davis, a generational talent, in my opinion, a top 5 talent in the NBA, but he's not a top 5 player in the NBA. And he should be. When you mention guys like Giannis Antetokounmpo, when you mention guys like Steph, when you mention young guys like Luka, you should be mentioning Anthony Davis. And right now, I need more. The Lakers need more from AD, not just to win a championship, but this is the time for him right now to show the world why he is a top 75 player. He made the top 75 list. And when you look at AD, he could dominate so much better. He could give so much more. I know he's averaging 24 points and 10 rebounds, but I'm looking for those games where he go give me 30 and 20 on a consistent basis. And with LeBron James being out, I got my eyes on Anthony Davis because there's no reason that Giannis and AD should have that much separation between the two right now. So right now, I'm holding Anthony Davis under fire, and I think he's under the most pressure in the NBA.
I know LeBron has missed games, and we 23 games in now, Stephen A. They 12 and 11.
Yep.
And the issue we talked about before the season started was cohesiveness. And I still don't know if the Lakers knows who this offense is going to run through. And you bring up Vogel, and I lay that at the altar of his feet. Like at some point, because look, we all give the Lakers benefit of the doubt because LeBron James plays for him. Let's sit here and be honest. Before the season started, and they signed Russell Westbrook, and I was one of them, along with AD, along with LeBron James, we all took pause because we said LeBron James plays for the Lakers. They will figure it out. All right. And to your point, KP, it's not only about AD gonna get his numbers. AD gonna be an all-star. He gonna be one of the top players in the NBA. How impactful are those 24 though? Because we all can separate, right? We look at Steph last night. Stephen A. just talked about it in the first block. It was an aberration that Steph not gonna shoot like that consistently. When it comes to AD, I've always had this question: are you really asserting yourself enough? Are you asserting yourself enough so when you leave this game, there's an imprint from Anthony's game where everybody walk out of the gym and says, AD the reason they won the game. AD is the guy that the Lakers are going to go through even though they have LeBron James and Russell Westbrook. And KP, me and you talked about this. When they won the championship, it went through AD. And I don't know if they've identified yet how they're going to play basketball with 3 all-stars, one of the best players ever. Dude, we 23 in, and the identity is still in question, is my point.
Go ahead, KP.
Look, first of all, I can't believe both of y'all right now and pointing the finger at Frank Vogel. Yes, I'm talking to Stephen A. and I'm talking to Swagoo. Like, look, how? Tell me this. At certain points when the Lakers are fully healthy, you have 4 future Hall of Famers on the floor. And this is not a young basketball team, man. This is a veteran ball club with a guy by the name of Russell Westbrook, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Carmelo Anthony. And you mean to tell me that Frank Vogel has to make sure that he gets those guys in position to be successful on the offensive end?
The Suns have reeled off 17 straight wins. Big Perk, you're up first. Should the Warriors fear the Suns?
That's what happened. That's what happened to the Warriors last night. Them dogs from the Phoenix Suns was on them. They was out last night. And look, here it is. Stephen A., you can fix your body language all you want, but I told you. You know what happened? Yeah, I can see you. Yeah, I can see you. What happened was experience kicked in last night. Experience. And when I told people weeks ago when I was on First Take, I said, look, I'm not knocking the Warriors. They playing beautiful basketball, but it's the experience. And a lot of idiots out there thought I was talking about the experience of Steph and the experience of Draymond and the experience of Iguodala. No, I was talking about the experience of Jordan Poole and all the other young guys. See, let me tell you what happened last night. The Phoenix Suns was the team that represented the Western Conference in the finals last year. The Phoenix Suns brought back everybody and added pieces from last year. The Phoenix Suns are battle tested, so they know how to get through those moments. I bet you the world thought when Devin Booker went out, they was like, oh, Golden State about to run away with this game. No, the hell they're not, because they have a guy like Mikal Bridges who's not afraid to get up in Steph Curry. Steph Curry didn't just miss shots, they made him miss. And when you look at what Monty Williams did yesterday, he did what we thought Steve Nash should have done when the Golden State Warriors played the Brooklyn Nets. He made the Golden State Warriors play his game. He said, you know what? If you go switch pick and rolls, I'm going to play inside out and I'm going to punish you with DeAndre Ayton. I'm going to punish you and play JaVale McGee. We're going to play our game and beat you. So at the end of the day, this is why I just didn't crown the Warriors to win the championship, because I got too much respect for them dogs out there in Phoenix, or if you want to call them coyotes, those things Stephen A. scared of. We know about your experience that you had last year when you went out there and was trying to check into your hotel.
You know what? You didn't have to bring that up. That's a pretty low blow right there. That's a pretty low blow right there. I mean, that's supposed to. I'm gonna get you for that one, KP. I'm gonna get you for that one, because that's just wrong right there. And that damn Mike Wilbon, you left him out. I see how slick you are. You left out the Godfather, Mike Wilbon. How he set me up with them damn coyotes. Mike Wilbon sent me to a damn hotel in Scottsdale. I'm looking for a hotel in Phoenix. Next thing I know, I go to Scottsdale. there. I land. I'm there going there in the middle of the damn night. They pulled me up to the hotel and said, your hotel room about 100 yards away. I'm like, I ain't walking there. Y'all gonna rob me? The hell going on? Oh, coyotes don't bother people. Please. I ain't gonna find out either. Hell no. Hell no. Okay? I'm trying. That's what KP talking about. And he left that out. And he didn't even bring up Mike Wilbon name. See, that's betrayal right there, KP. That's betrayal. But anyway, let me say this to y'all. Y'all can talk all of this all y'all want to. Mad love and respect to the Phoenix Suns. My coach of the year, Monty Williams. You look at CP3, the greatness. I just can't say enough about him. Mikal Bridges, the greatest 2-point performance I've ever seen. I mean, this brother was all over the place doing everything, okay? Mad love for him. Devin Booker gets hurt. These brothers stepped up, and I'm a Cameron Johnson fan. You remember last year in the finals, KP, I kept raving about Cameron Johnson and what this brother brings to the table. So I get it, and in pain as well. I like him. I like him a lot. But last night was an aberration. Look, bro, you talk about they made Steph Curry miss. The fact of the matter is Steph Curry missed shots we normally see him make, period. Now, that doesn't mean they didn't play defense. It doesn't mean they weren't in his face. It doesn't mean they weren't contested shots or anything like that. But it was a very un-Steph Curry-like performance. We know, and let me not forget to give my man Crowder some love as well, because Crowder's a big-time contributor for them. Got mad love for him, too. In the end, though, I'm looking at Golden State, and I get what you're talking about their youth, but I'm going to remind y'all. Clay coming back. Wiseman coming back. And when I think about Jordan Poole and I see what he brings to the table, I like Toscano. I like him. I like what I'm seeing from the Golden State Warriors. Didn't like what I saw last night, but Steph just had a bad night, and it comes back down to that. And I think Friday we find out more about this particular matchup. Let's have this conversation next week after Friday night's performance. Matter of fact, KP, me and you, we can have this conversation on Twitter, or I'll show up on y'all podcast with Swag Goo to talk about this. That's a Friday night. Friday night. Let's see what happens Friday night.
You sure can. And here's the thing. This is what I'm trying to tell you, Stephen A. One, I don't know how Clay is going to look when he returns. Let's not forget. A torn ACL on one leg, a torn Achilles on another. And Clay is not only known for his shooting, but he's known for his defense. Yeah. And let me stop y'all with this Wiseman miss. Okay? Last year, even when Wiseman played, he underachieved. And when we talk about a matchup between Wiseman and DeAndre Ayton, you better believe I'm betting my house that DeAndre Ayton is going to win that matchup. I watched DeAndre go against Jokic, and I told you that already. But I saw DeAndre Ayton go against Giannis, and things ain't happen right. But nothing happens right when you go against Giannis Antetokounmpo. And what I'm saying, Stephen A., is that I know Steph Curry missed some shots that he normally make, but you want to know what the Phoenix Suns did to Steph Curry? They wore him down. They didn't let him get nothing easy so that he could start getting into a rhythm. Their switches were on point. Their communication on the defense was on point. They had deflections. That's what I'm trying to tell you. This Suns team is for real, man.
The Suns team is for real because their roles are defined. It's just like we just started talking about with the Lakers, like defining roles. And when you look at Golden State, the only issue I came away from that game is when Steph is not there, who's next? Like, can this team sustain a potential bad shooting night from Steph Curry when you get to the playoffs? Because to me, the Suns got options of how they can play basketball based on what they showed last night. I'm with you, S.A. I think when Klay comes back, because here's the thing. I get what you're saying, KP, about Klay Thompson and the Achilles and the knee, the ACL. But, man, shooting is like machine. Like, it's mechanic. And I don't think it's going to take long for Klay to start knocking shots down. And we all know when it comes to the Golden State Warriors, if him and Steph are knocking shots down, it's very difficult to beat. You can keep growling, Oh,
It's a difference when you got them dogs over there with that the Suns got. I'm trying to tell you, man.
But look, bro, let's not have a knee-jerk reaction to Steph going 4 and 12.
I'm not.
Let's come on.
I think Kendrick Perkins being a little bit emotional right now about that. I think he's being a little bit emotional.
No, I'm not. The Suns lost Devin Booker. But the Suns lost Devin Booker.
That's why I say the issue that I run into with the Golden State Warriors is if Steph struggles.
Shooting
But if
performance
Steph
of
struggles
Steph's
is
career.
very, very rare.
Fellas, let's say this,
Okay.
because we got to close out this segment. Let me say this in all seriousness. Phoenix Suns ain't no joke. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
We know the Golden State Warriors ain't no joke. But you know what I really, really love about this? And Kendrick Perkins will co-sign on this, I'm sure. If either of them represent the West in the finals, the beautiful thing about it is that both teams play basketball the way it's supposed to be played.
No doubt.
They play defense. They ain't forget about defense. They reminded us that defense matters. Offensively, they play together.
Yep.
They're unselfish. They've got true leaders on their squad, all right? And obviously exceptional coaching. All of this stuff where you know what, you got a superstar and they combine with another superstar and that's going to get it done, that took over the league for a decade. That ain't necessarily the case now. We know that Clay might not be the same. When we make these prognostications, we're assuming health, KP. We're assuming health. We all know if he ain't the same, it ain't going to happen. Wiseman ain't the same, it ain't going to happen. But all things being equal, all things being healthy, that's my prediction. But I love the direction that the NBA is in. Last night was a big night with the Golden State.